were going to 22 cities, culminating in Washington, D.C. This year, the Lord has instructed us to go to 22 regions. So, you're about the 15th or 16th visitation that we have had. And it is really because I know of no one that has a heart to see this nation turn into its destiny as much as Apostle Dutch Sheets. Let's thank God one more time for him. And to be here with your governor being here, what an honor. Let's thank God for your governor here in this state. It is such a joy. And Aaron, if you'll begin, let me show you a few things to give you an idea of where we're at and what the Lord is doing here as we move forward. One of the things that I see that is happening here in Alaska is, it is time. Everybody say that out loud. It's time. And so it becomes very, very key that we know that we have come to be with you. I loved our worship tonight. Let's thank God for Judah going first. Now, I believe tonight that we really saw Judah go first. We saw the first people leading in their worship. We saw the sound of the congregation coming forth. We waited for the Lord to come forth. But here, I believe now is a new day that has broken for you. And with that, remember, you were the state that was the beginning and the end. And so that makes you a very special place. Now, why is that important? Acts 17 says this, that he predetermined your time and your place. So see, this place was chosen by the Lord. This place called Alaska is a unique place. It's one that is so important. But there's a glory dimension in Alaska that is not in any other state. When the Lord visited me in 2008, he showed me 3 states that would explode in his glory. The first, Alabama. The second, Arizona, which I would not have chosen, but God did. And the third, Alaska. He said, they will be the states that explode in my glory and are used to spread my glory. So I feel like we're here this time calling forth the breakthrough highway of glory from Alaska, through Washington, to Oregon, and all the way down the West Coast. I see you taking your role in leadership to change the western portion of the United States. And the Lord has been preparing you for this, in your leadership, in your voice, in what He would have you do. Now, go ahead, Aaron, you're still a little ahead of me. Now, you have to understand that timing dimension that is there is all of a sudden the blessings that have been seeding up into the heavens. They've been put there like time release capsules. And what you're going to start seeing is what you have seeded coming forward. And this is the hour that time has aligned over Alaska. Now, when we talk about time, you're talking about He is Alpha and Omega. Your state, this land represents that for our nation. And all of the elements of time, which is the measurable action and conditions that we operate in. God is outside time, but He has chosen where to put us, and He has chosen when to put us. You have to remember, He knew you before the foundation of the earth. And look at somebody next to you and say, you've been around a long time. his heart, he placed you in this time because he knew you would have the impact to bring forth his fullness and move people into their future destiny with always having eternity in your heart. When I'm with our first people, I feel the eternity of God's heart in the land beating. It's amazing to feel it. It's amazing to see it. Now, with that, we have to know that there is a war. Ann's word was just amazing about the war tides coming in. There is a war over your call, your destiny, and this territory. I remember giving Mary a word because I had a dream in 1993 about how Alaska was going to actually be the center or the war structure of this land in days ahead. I believe the next 2 years are of utmost importance for us to understand Alaska and for the nation not to just look at you as the vast territory that has not been fully conquered yet, as all the TV shows show from up here, but that you are going to be the ruling voice that comes forth over the war structure of this land. Now, Father, I thank you for that. And I thank you for what you're doing with that. Because you want to remember in time, this year, all nines, any year linked with nines, and especially this year, because this year represents, and when you look at it from a Hebraic standpoint, of coming to the end of an era, a 70-year era that has been moving. All nines are linked with Holy Spirit movement. Now, when the violin began to play, I saw something. I saw God speaking and moving your fish in a new way. I saw God speaking and causing the animals to form paths. I saw movement coming in this state that the land has never known before. All of a sudden, I could hear it on the violin, the movement of resource in this state. This is very important for your future. And he was saying, I know where the fish are that have the gold coins in their mouth. Get ready to find them in new ways. I know where the trails are that I will form that will lead you to places you have never been before. I say to you, get ready. You have not been this way before that you are about to go. Get ready, for there is a movement coming from my voice that will begin to move you in a way you have never been moved. And all of a sudden you see this year, 9 is linked with the 9 manifestation gifts of the Spirit. It's linked with the 9 fruit of the Spirit, but it's also linked with the Spirit of God hovering. And I want to say this, the Lord has brought Alaska to the attention of America. You are now in America's sight. Even though you have so much unconquered wilderness, now we see it publicly when we watch the shows about you. And the Lord says new trails are forming. New trails are forming. There will be a new movement with my people. There will be new movements in my tribes. And so this becomes very important for us as we advance in this new apostolic season. See, we're at the end of an era called 70. That's where captivity has to break, and we're going into an era linked with 80. In other words, we are shifting eras. I'm hoping Tim Sheets will give us more insight on that tomorrow while we're here. because the era of all of 70s, biblically, when you look at it from a Hebrew standpoint, it's about causing us to see, causing the vision to come clear, causing 70 is linked with apostolic sending. It's caused us to become a new apostolic prophetic people. Our identity has come in to a new fullness. 80 is exactly what Mary prophesied and what Eleanor prophesied. 80 is about our mouth forming our future. Now we will start decreeing a thing that we know that is waiting to manifest in the earth realm, and we will see it as we decree it. So there are things that will be decreed over Alaska that have never been decreed before. And so with that, know that God has a first order to produce restoration, to produce redemption. He has first principles. And with that, you find that in his first principles, there is a divine returning to his order. With that, you see his spirit first hovered over chaos. He then planted a garden. Now, I heard the Lord say, and this is what we'll see manifest and decreed here while we're here. This will now become a new order in this state, in this region called Alaska, that will be a return to his garden plan of glory. The Lord says, then you have Israel first, you have kingdom first, you have first fruit, but first people. And you have to understand that Alaska was probably the entryway for the first peoples of our land. And when you realign with God's order of first people, you do become grafted into the land, as Mary said. Doesn't matter what our color is, doesn't matter our race. All of a sudden, when we're in God's order, we're being grafted in, just like we're being grafted into Abraham. And then he said, Judah goes first. There are sounds that will come from Alaska that will set a new course for kingdom movement. No longer will you be singing just the songs that you have heard others sing. You will be creating sounds that are coming from heaven and coming from earth. And then you're going to see the glory move. First apostles. This state has always been a part of the apostolic move, but now there is a new move. One season has ended and a new move is beginning, and the love of God is going to burst forth in a new way. But I will say this, you will be known for your sheltering of the movement of the Jews out of Russia. And the Lord says, get ready. You will be the state that will be called, one new man has arisen for this land. So get ready. You are moving into a new dimension. And remember,